What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Best Family Homestead. Today I have a lot of things I need to do. I'm not doing any of them, I don't think. Another fall day has got me. But what I am doing is I'm gonna tinker on the old 66. Started power washing it the other day, so when I got a little carried away. Today I think I'm gonna try and get the rest of it to bed and get everything down to where I want it. And give it, polish it up a little bit of linseed oil, and got a couple other things too. So I was driving it around a little bit today, and I figured out a little bit of the problem. So I was driving it around a little bit today. I think I figured out some of the problem I was having with it running when we were in rough edge. So the carburetor that Papa Hugh had put on here before I got it from him, it's not exactly the right carburetor. He had to do a little bit of work, and you can see the holes there. He had to make a little bit bigger, and so the carburetor come a little bit loose and was creating a vacuum leak. So I put some washers on it, tightened it up, and I'll let you hear what it sounds like, how you can diagnose a vacuum leak problem in just a couple seconds. Cranks right up. The problem is when you start giving it some gas, it wants to die. So I got some carburetor cleaner, and you hear that change, and you can actually hear it sucking the whistle. You can hear it sucking that carburetor cleaner in through the bottom of the carburetor, which allows it to, the air fuel mixture's off. I mean, it just wreaks havoc. So what I'm doing is I'm letting it cool down enough to where I can work on it, and then I'm going to pull the carburetor off. I'm going to tighten some of the exhaust manifold gaskets and whatnot. I'm going to make some new gaskets here for the bottom of the carburetor, tighten everything up on the carburetor because it looks like it might be leaking a little bit up there too, and see if I can get it to run a little bit better. Friday on payday, I'm going to order a new carburetor for it. Not too bad, like $125, $30, and see if I can't get her running at least good enough to get over to Waverly Hall for a little shindig over there. Shouldn't be too much of a problem to do that. It already will idle around, but then the old girl's got enough life left in her to have some fun with and enjoy driving it while I wait on being able to do my big restoration on it. So I've got my pressure washer out here, and while it cools down, we're going to do some of the fun stuff and make it pretty. At least that's the plan. Yeah, you can see. My dad said when he brought it home years ago, it had set, and he said you couldn't even see it for like the gray lichens and moss and stuff. He said you couldn't even see paint. So still not much paint left. We'll do what we can. other things I'm going to go ahead and do while I do this, completely unnecessary, obviously. There's not much paint left on it, but I've got 600 grit sandpaper here, and because I'm going to be putting the linseed oil over it, this, all I'm doing is just going to smooth a little bit, just a little bit, so that when the linseed goes on it, it'll kind of give it a somewhat even sheen. So kind of like just washing it with a piece of sandpaper, very fine grit sandpaper, but it'll help it marginally look a little bit better. And when you're working on a truck like this, you're sure to attract some kind of riffraff.
Always.
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 What's up, Petey?
What's happening?
All right, time to get back at it. Pete came over. It's always good to visit with friends for a while. And we were playing around. I was showing him, and I'd already sanded this fender. And now I really can't wait to see the rest of it because it looks good. So let's get doing a little bit more sanding work, not too much left to go, and then get some linseed oil on it. I think it's going to look pretty good. So obviously today wasn't really meant to be a huge deep clean detail. This was more Aaron wanted to play around. And nowhere near perfect, obviously, just polishing is hard. But I think it looks a whole lot better than it did. The storm's supposed to miss us for the most part, so this weekend I will work on the bed. And yeah, there's still some nuts and bolts and tools in the floorboard. That will probably never, ever, ever change. Ever. She's an old truck. But I took an old Army, ex-Army farm truck and painted the turd a little bit. You know, sometimes that's just what you gotta do with old cars. Show it a little bit of love. Show it a little bit of love. Make it feel wanted. They have souls, you know. People can argue that all they want. Old houses and old cars have souls. And I'll come through here and wipe the excess off and work on it a little bit more at some point. But from what it did look like a couple hours ago, much better. And once I finish with the bed, I'm going to rebuild a new wooden bed, but I'm going to use this bed that my dad did as a template and make my changes. And so this one's still going to look good here shortly. I did not get around to my carburetor, but I didn't have gasket material. Definitely didn't want to run to town, spend all that time. And since in 2 days I'm ordering the right carburetor, it still putters around and I don't take it far. So it's gonna be all right. While we're over here in this part of the yard, I thought I'd give you a garden update. So these are pear tomatoes. They started rotting and falling off, and I'm like, what's wrong with my tomatoes? They're supposed to be yellow. Oh no. I was waiting for this to be a big old sandwich tomato, and I was dumb and let it sit on the ground. Oh well. These are the something firecracker tomatoes. They're really good too. Everything's doing pretty well. Almost got me some big sandwich tomatoes here ready to go. Here's some more. I'm hanging full. I'm gonna have more tomatoes I don't know what to do with shortly. The pepper plants are doing good, and once these are all done, I'm gonna hang them and dry them. You know, just hang them upside down and dry them once they're all red, and then I can use them later for anything I want to. I need to water my one here in the pot, and you can see sticking to stickers just in the ground. Great. Like, these are dry, they need water desperately, and they're still alive. So next year I'll plant tomatoes, and as soon as I start getting suckers, they're going to get planted right back in the ground. Yeah, can't beat that. These are really good. And with the sun hitting at this angle, I wanted to show you all the fence. Now that it's dried, you see where I power washed it, it's got that really pretty golden tint to it. So now this weekend I'll spray some Thompson's water seal or something on it, and it'll work really well. I might even get another one of my little things I like to use to keep from buying normal stuff is mineral spirits and tung oil. That does a really good job for wood too. You just spray it on, you keep spraying it on until it soaks in, no more will take, and it probably works honestly better than Thompson's water seal. I'll just have to price the difference between the tung oil. And I need to put my last couple pieces of fencing. I got a lot I need to do, but I just needed a day to chill out, and I think that working on this is just what I needed. So all right, still eat my tomato. And now you can really see that grain pop. It's kind of what I wanted. Just enough of the old Green Army paint so that you know it was an old Army truck. Kind of like me. Beat up, busted up, pretty grumpy. Doesn't run real well. But it gets the job done and looks kind of cool doing it. I guess I have a lot more in common with this old truck than I thought. So that's why I like it so much. All right, everybody. Well, I think it's about that time. And I might even putter that thing back around to town a little bit. It's running good enough for that. And see what kind of trouble me and my old Army pal there can get into. So I appreciate y'all watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, and share. And unfortunately tomorrow, I think I'm gonna have to get back on my garage. I should have done it today, but I just didn't want to. We'll make up for it tomorrow. All right, everybody. Thanks for watching.